Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy Clow,
And I'm Allie Garrett.
and we are excited today to be talking with Kathy Hain-de Jong. Did I say that right?
You've got it.
Right. And she has written a book called The Recruitable Dancer. And rather than me read her lengthy bio, I'm just going to let Kathy tell us a little bit about herself. I think it's a timely time to talk about recruiting college athletes into the dance program at their university. So take it away, Kathy. How did you get into this?
Well, thank you for having me. How did I get into it has been a lifelong story. I think I actually was on my high school dance team way back when, but I have no formal dance training. So back in the day, you had some rhythm, you probably got on the team, right?
Right, right. It
So
was different.
the world of college dance teams or dance teams in general have really evolved over the years. And so I have two daughters that grew up dancing. They competed in a competitive studio. They were on their high school dance team, although it was a non-competitive kind of game day type team.
Okay.
And when it came time for high school or came time for college, they were like, okay, I don't want to dance professionally. What can I do? I don't want to stop dancing. And that's the story of a lot of dancers today is about 5, 6 years ago, a lot of them just felt like, okay, I'm done dancing. If
Yeah.
I don't want to go into a professional career, there's not much more that I can do with this. And now really in the last 5, 6 years, the availability of the college dance team world has really come to the surface, and a lot of dancers now see that as a way that they can continue dancing in college. Um, for myself, evolving with my daughters in this process, I've also evolved as a college counselor. So, where I started working primarily with traditional high school students, preparing for college and the application process as my girls were coming up through high school and they were so ingrained in their dance studio, a lot of my clients started becoming dancers. So my practice niched into working specifically with dancers. I'm probably 85% dancers now, and helping them find their path into college, be it a BFA in dance. Some dancers want to have a really good college dance experience, dance program, but they also want a double major, understanding that dance careers can be short. They will try and double major in something else so that
Yeah.
they can have the extra set of tools. And then other dancers go the dance team route. And I also have other dancers that are very academically focused, want to shoot for those highly selective colleges, and they want to be able to use their dance background to help them excel in the college application process at those highly selective. So I work with all kinds of dancers.
You do. And so your practice is college counseling, and you built your career in managing and consulting technology project and portfolio management. She holds a bachelor. I want to read this just so people know. She
Okay.
holds a Bachelor of Science Communication and a Master of Science with a concentration in quality management from the University of Miami. And she is a member of the Independent Educational Consultants Association and the National Dance Coaches Association. So she also holds an independent educational consultant certificate from the University of California, Irvine. And so she's really working well with college athletes and helping them. And it's funny because this just in the last like 10 years, this has changed. I
Mhm.
feel
I
maybe,
like she even said like the
yeah,
last 5 or 6
five or
years because
six
I
years.
feel like even from when like our kids that are seniors in college on dance team right now, I feel like the process is very different right now than
Oh,
it
you're
was when
right.
they were seniors in high school. And that's
Yes, and
only
that's
four
a
years.
4 years. So I feel
Mhm.
it's become way more intense. Well, we live in Minnesota, so of course Minnesota, we're called the state of dance. So it's
Right.
it's really competitive here. And my one granddaughter, who's a senior right now, is my gosh, she's just been, doing the recruitment videos and all the things that
Going to all the clinics, I
the
think that has
clinics
been
are.
huge.
Yeah, the clinics are huge. I mean, I had one dancer that I think flew out to a clinic 3 times, and one
Mhm.
of our best dancers that we had on our team ever. And she ended up not making it, which was, it's expensive to fly out and go to these clinics without knowing that you may not make it.
And that's why I wrote the book.
This episode is sponsored by the Tea Hive and Move You. At Tea Hive, we don't just provide custom designs, we personalize them to suit your needs. Whether you need tablecloths, banners, t-shirts, dye sublimation, sweatshirts, jackets, or warm-ups, we can create them for you. Your dancers will be thrilled with our latest dance designs, or we can bring your custom logo to life. Check us out at the Tea Hive and Move You.
I'm watching this process evolve. I'm hearing the frustration and the anxiety that is building up with this dance team process. And I think it's important for dancers to go into this process with an intention, with strategy, and with planning. Because too many dancers right now don't understand. They just feel like I need to get in front of as many people, as many coaches as I possibly can, and then just hope for the best. And I think it's the complete opposite. I think it's about really focusing in on the college and the dance team experience and the education that you're looking for. Find the perfect fit and then go for those schools and teams rather than just running around the country. Like you said, it is so expensive.
Well,
There's no guarantee that you're going to get on a team or get into a school. So let's find the schools that are a great match where you're likely, or it's, reasonable to think that you could get in, and then also find the teams where it's reasonable to think that you can make the team. If we can be more strategic that way, I think a lot of dancers will find a lot more success.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think something, I was just saying this to somebody the other day, that I feel like is so much more stressful for kids right now is, like 6 years ago or whatever, when more teams were doing just still tryouts, I feel like you had the stress for like a weekend. It was like, okay, I'm stressed. I have college tryouts this weekend, and now it's Monday and it's over. And I know I did or didn't make the team, where now it's like months and months and months, and you don't know when you're going to get an offer, if you're going to get an offer. Are they going to tell you no, or are they just going to not say anything?
Are they stringing you along?
You just don't know.
The other thing that I find, well, we can talk combines in a second, but the other thing I find interesting is that the video, I wish they would get together and have
they do now.
Well, some do, and then some want a different one.
Yeah, but it has changed a little bit since they've created that.
Okay, so universal,
the recruitment video.
Common recruitment video. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
helped a little bit.
That's helped a little bit, because then they can do that video and they don't have to, do several.
I think that leans in the right direction. I think the intention was good. I think there's a lot more that needs to be done on the coach's side. Like, they're not necessarily following the same process once they receive the video. So it's a good thing that there is some commonality in that primary video that they're submitting.
Yep.
But the kids are still completely confused because the coaches aren't on the same timelines. They're not.
Right. That's what I find confusing right now.
Processes for, okay, when you submit, these are the next steps that are going to happen. And that's not getting translated to these kids, which is creating more stress and more anxiety. I haven't heard from the coach. What does that mean? When can I expect to know whether I'm going to be recruited or not? It has created, I think, a little more, it wasn't intentional, but again, with everything new, there's some, work to be done. But I think ultimately that teams that sign on to the common recruitment video need to also be signing on to some type of process once the video gets submitted.
That would be a good suggestion. Yeah. And I think in behalf of college coaches, this has blown up for them too.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It has become a full-time job. I
can't imagine the thought of like, okay, now we have 50 people that submitted a video versus when we had tryouts, only 20 would have come, or, I'm just making up numbers,
but for some,
but now you're like, okay, is this kid actually interested in our college, or are they just submitting to every college they can? Like, you don't know.
And that's the problem. It's opened up the door for these kids to say, let me just, these are the, 50 teams. I'm just going to send my video and see if anybody likes me. And
Yeah.
I think, again, I think it's the wrong approach. I think the approach should be, I want to find the place that's right for me. I
Mhm.
want to go somewhere where I'm going to get the college education I want. They have the major I want. I can be in a sorority if I want. I'm in
I like
the
the
part of the
campus.
country I want.
Yeah,
And there's a dance team that's a good fit for me
yeah.
instead of just this throw it out there and see what sticks
And
approach.
I think
And
coaches would appreciate that too. I've heard a lot of coaches say that
College
like,
coaches?
yes, that
Yeah,
they're like, you need to like the college first. I
right.
feel like I've heard a lot of them say that. Like it's, yes, the dance team's a great perk, but you don't go to a college because of the dance team. You go there because you like the college and then
you like
decide if you
the
like the dance
feel,
team.
right?
Absolutely. And that's one of the sayings I use in the Recruitable Dancer is college first, then dance team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because it makes sense.
Yeah.
You've got to get into the college before you can even consider the dance team, right? You have to be
Right.
accepted. But I think it's important for those kids to know that I mean, there's no guarantee with the dance team either, right?
Right.
So focus on the college, make sure it's a good fit, um, even financially, right? If if
Oh, yeah.
if you're, auditioning or being recruited for a college, but your family is not in a position to pay for that college, why is that on your list,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So it really needs to be an intentional process where the family is assessing all the criteria that's important to them and find it's kind of like a Venn diagram, and I kind of have that in the book too. It's is it the right college fit for you? Like if dance was taken out of the picture, is this the right college for you? Because
Right.
between now and the time you step on campus, you can't rule out an injury that's going to prevent you from dancing, right?
True.
So college first, and then dance team. And then you've got to overlay the college's needs as well, right? Do you have the right GPA to get into the school, the test scores? Students need to remember that the first step in the process is the college application process.
So
Mhm.
Go ahead.
do you feel like someone's wanting to apply to this school and go to the dance team that their first step should be the application to the college or to the dance team?
Well, it kind of
Goes
if we're
hand in hand?
yeah, one of the things that's tricky with dance team right now is when I do college counseling for a traditional college student that's not looking to be recruited, I will still start talking to them about colleges and careers and majors, about this time of year in their junior year,
Right.
November-ish, December-ish. For dance teams, I've got to back that process
Mhm.
into sophomore year anyway.
That is a big change.
And to have discussions with a 10th grader about what they want to do for the rest of their life,
Yeah.
very difficult, right?
Right. Hmm.
So it's like, let's at least start talking about it in 10th grade. What kind of career might you want? What kind of major would you be interested in? Not that you need to decide today, but are you interested in science? Are you interested in more creative academic pursuits? If we can just start narrowing that down a little bit in 10th
Right.
grade, then I can start helping guide them with the dance teams as well. And so the college application piece is equally as important to anything they're doing on the dance side, right? I'm like,
Okay.
as much effort as you put into your dance and your technique and learning new skills, there should be equal emphasis on those academics, right?
Right.
Because with your GPA and your test scores, those automatically limit what schools that you have the potential to go to,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
So we have to put academics at the center of this process. So to answer your question, the process really starts ninth, 10th grade because of the
Wow. Isn't that
academics.
crazy?
Yep.
And so helping them guide them through this entire process so that when they are in 10th grade and they start going to clinics or combines or conventions, they're going in again with at least some intention about what they're looking for in college, what kind of dance team experience. I'm also starting to educate them about the commitment of college dance teams. I don't think I think dancers in high school think they spend a lot of time dancing, and they do. But when they get into college, it's kind
So,
of a
yeah.
different animal, right? The amount of time they need to put into their studies, plus the time they need to put into some of these dance teams, particularly at the competitive elite level,
Like the D1. Yeah.
it's off the charts.
How many
You know,
hours are they spending, would you say?
the D1 competitive teams, particularly the ones at the highest level, I think are putting in 35 hours a week for the dance team. Like that is when you take in, they're doing workouts and lifts in the morning. They're doing practices several times a week. They're doing several games, during the week,
Yeah.
Yeah.
campus performances. It's a full-time job at some of these teams. So also, again, when it comes to intention, is your intention to go all in on dance team, or is your intention to really have a balanced college life where you can focus on those academics? You can participate in some other activities on campus, participate in clubs and stuff like that. Knowing how much of the dance team you want to do and the time you want to commit is really critical to finding the right team.
Yeah, that
Right.
makes a lot of sense. And I think they don't think about that. They see the glory, the national competition or whatnot. And I think there's so many. The one thing that I feel bad about for kids is I feel like they only sometimes see those really high level schools. And there are a lot of colleges where kids could dance that maybe aren't the stars on their team, but there are, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Like they could be on different
There's
teams. Yeah.
opportunities for kids to dance at
Or
all
they
types.
think, oh, I can't be on a college dance team because all they're seeing is the glorified ones that they know they're not at that level. So they think there's
Yeah.
no opportunity.
And I call that the sparkle trap.
Okay. Sparkle trap.
Yeah. So that is one of the things that really concerns me in this process is they do see the teams that have the resources to literally have their own social media videographer attending their practices and going to every game and capturing every moment.
Yeah.
And that's great for the sport. Obviously, everybody loves to kind of see, that attention to college dance teams. But in reality, there are so many great teams out there. I've got a database right now of over 670 college dance teams, and I find
Wow.
every single day. Uh,
Wow.
so that's one thing I really want people to be left with is there is a college dance team out there for everyone. There really is. You just have to be open to,
Right.
okay, maybe it's not at an SEC school with 100,000 seat stadium, right?
Right.
But there is opportunities, and it's all about, again, finding the right match and
Sure.
being intentional with your process.
Yep.
How about scholarships? Are there scholarships anywhere?
There's a lot of opportunity for scholarships, but they may not necessarily all be in dance.
Right.
So for instance, one of the best ways to get scholarship money is through the college institution itself. So many colleges will offer a lot of merit aid based on your GPA, your test scores. So again, that's where the academic piece of it becomes equally as important.
Right.
One thing that a lot of people probably don't know is, particularly in the Midwest, a lot of those states offer a lot of merit scholarship so that out of state students can get almost equivalent to in state tuition at some of these Midwest schools. They offer a
Interesting.
lot of money. So for the kids that think, oh, I can't afford to go out of state, my first thing is to say, look in the Midwest. Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, those breadbasket states are looking for college students to come in from out of state. So lots of money there. Um, Academics is number one. Dance is not an NCAA sport.
Hmm.
So athletic scholarships do not happen for dancers unless it's at an NAIA school, which is a group of schools that are much smaller schools. Dance is considered a sport at some of those NAIA school, and you can actually get an athletic scholarship at
Interesting.
those schools, which
That's
makes that much more affordable.
and appealing for some of those
Yes.
kids.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And then there are some dance teams that have funding sources
Okay.
that offer some scholarship money. So there may be, a $500 a semester stipend, so that dancers can cover some of their expenses, books,
Yeah.
so there is some money that might be available as a dancer. Um, the trouble with all this is and this is something that I feel very passionate about, is at many schools, dancers have to pay
I
to
know.
be on the dance team.
Yeah.
And particularly for the ones that are representing their college, either on the athletic field and game day sports, that kind of thing. They're out representing their university in public events. They're representing their university on the national competition stage, and they're paying for that opportunity to
Yeah.
represent their college. I think it's time that there's a significant change around that.
I
Um,
agree.
Hmm.
there's
I'm
no
frustrated.
reason that
Yeah.
these kids should be out there representing their university on a national stage and be paying to do that. So I think that's something that has to change in this industry very quickly. They're paying tuition, they're paying room and board, and now they're paying to participate in an activity and represent their university.
It's
So,
crazy. There's some schools that where the athlete dancers even pay the coaches salary.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm like, I wanted to go wake up university. That coach is attracting all these kids into your university who may not go there otherwise from across the country, especially some of the bigger schools. I see it happening where kids are gravitating toward that school because of the dance team. And
Right.
exactly.
the fact that the school is not recognizing this as something, and like you say, they're out representing game day plus doing their own thing. It's just
Right.
it's
It's a
just
lot.
insane. It's insane. They do a
Yep.
lot
And
more
I
than
will also say, to your point, they need to pay the coaches.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's about time.
The fact, the number of hours that these coaches are putting in and what little, if anything, they are getting paid is also not right and needs to be
It's not.
fixed.
Okay, so let's cover a couple things. I'm a high school parent, pretend, and my daughter or son are wanting to be on a high school dance team. What,
College, you mean?
or, excuse me, a college dance team. What would be my grade? Ninth and 10th, you said, correct?
Yes, I think that's the time to start thinking about it. One thing I don't want to encourage is to force these kids in eighth, even sooner, seventh, eighth, ninth grade, to feel like they're in a competition for these few spots at these D1A competitive teams, and the competition starts in eighth grade.
It's
That's
happening, and
ridiculous.
I hate it.
I know it's funny because
Yeah.
one of our former dancers who's on a dance team said it's so awkward sometimes at combines because they like are there representing their college dance team. And then, they give them the breakout where the kids can go ask the different colleges questions. And they were telling me they were like, it's so awkward because like seventh graders are coming up to you being like, what do you like about the college? What do you like about the dance team? And they're like, you are literally 12. Like, do you really
Yeah.
have interest in
Yeah.
college right now? Like, it's just so interesting how it's
Yeah.
all changed so much.
Yeah.
And that is where I think our industry needs to take caution in
Right.
how this is developing, right? because with the development of combines and conventions, it's making it easier for these middle school students
Oh, I know.
to get on the same floor with a highly talented, high recruit in 11th or 12th grade and just be overwhelmed by they're not prepared for that.
Right, right.
They're both as a immature teenager, but also dates wise, right? And so we need to be really, really cognizant of the fact that we need to be able to develop these students and dancers at the level where they're at and not try and push them into being competitive in 7th or 8th grade
Yeah.
for a college spot that
Right.
they don't even know that that's going to be what they want
What
at
they
that
want to
time.
do in 5 years.
That's what I'm so
Yeah.
surprised at. Some, like, I feel like I've seen some colleges that are recruiting kids and they like have already offered them spots and they're like sophomores or juniors. And I'm like, oh, that's so young to be already offering them an actual spot on their team in 3 years or 2 years from
Right.
now. Like, it's kind of
I,
wild.
th I think that's one thing that I would really like to see is again some coming together of the coaches and the events and even at the high school level how we deal with dancers and
Mhm.
try and protect them a little bit from the anxiety that comes with trying to be recruited. I think there's things that we can do to help these students really kind of take it down a level. Let's be normal 13, 14-year-olds. And know that education is important. Focus on your academics, work in your dance, work on your skills, be in your studio, develop as a dancer, and then let's find the appropriate way to engage them in this recruitment process.
Right.
And the other thing is, let's face it, many of these, I not a combine, what am I trying to say? These conventions that the
Clinics.
clinics that the college hosts, they're fundraising opportunities for the team.
Which they need
They
because they
need
don't have
because they don't
money.
have funds, but the kids think I have to go to every one if I want to go there because I need to be seen. And I
Right.
don't feel that's absolutely true, but I think that adds to their anxiety. And I also feel like as a high school coach, I feel in the last
It's
5
burning them
years,
out.
it's burning them out, and my kids are
Yep.
pulled in every direction. It'll be sections week, which is a big deal in Minnesota. And we have our sections on the weekend. And then on Sunday, they're going to a clinic. And I'm like, they should be thinking about their high school tournament, not
Not having like
having
what
to be
college
recruited
yeah.
at that time. And I know the hard thing is that every state, their state event is at a different time. So how do you do this?
Yeah, it's hard.
How do you do it off season for the like Iowa's is in December, Oregon is in March, Minnesota's in February. I mean, every state is different. So I think North
Yeah.
Dakota's in January. I'm talking about the ones I'm just familiar with
Yeah.
around here.
And at the same time, they may have a midterm exam.
Right,
Right.
right. And so,
And,
yeah,
and so it is a lot. And so with the dancers I work with, I try and give them a sense of you are in control of this process, right? You control your time. You go in with intention. We put together a strategy. No, you don't have to hit every combine across the country. There are dancers now going on tour, essentially.
Right.
Right.
Literally.
literally, yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, why? Why?
Yeah.
So I don't want kids to feel that that is normal.
Okay.
That's not what needs to happen.
And I think some of it is parent driven. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it's parent driven. They want their child to be seen. So they're like, you got to go to this, you got to go to that. And then parents start trying to one up each other. And that gets to be a little crazy. Well, I'm glad to have an opportunity to talk about this because I think it's a really needed topic. And
I agree,
I just
especially
want,
right now.
oh, we're feeling it as the coaches of, we have a highly competitive team and we feel the kids really are wanting to be on college teams. So
And they're feeling so much
the
pressure.
pressure is real and it's
Yeah.
changed. It definitely has changed in the last 5 years. And
Mhm.
so Kathy, has written a book called The Recruitable Dancer. So if you're a high school coach or a parent of a, up and coming high school dancer, that would be a great book to read, The
I
Recruitable
got a
Dancer.
copy of it.
Oh, it's so neat. And where can they get that book, Kathy?
So it goes on sale November 5th,
Okay.
2025. And it will be available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, online anywhere books are sold. So we are really excited about that. On November 5th, we'll also have it available on our
Like in a week
website,
and a
which
half.
is,
That's coming
pardon?
up.
So that's like in a week and a half. That's
It
exciting.
is. It's very exciting. Yeah, this is one of the first print copies that I've gotten. So
That
Oh,
looks great.
yeah, it looks really
it's
good.
been over 2 years in the making of writing a book. It's one of the hardest things I have ever done, I will say. I got a
Yeah.
master's degree. This was harder.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that this is, not every student has a way with working with an advisor like me one-on-one, right? So
Right.
this was my way of taking information about the college admissions piece. There's tons of information about college admissions and how to navigate the application process in the book. And it's also about the dance recruitment piece and how to navigate that. So you kind of get two books in one.
And I think it'd be great for coaches to read it as well.
So they can help their students.
I was on Facebook last night, and I orchestrate a page called Dance Coaches and Teachers Unite. So it's both studio owners and dance teachers. And one of the people wrote, I have a senior wanting to try out for a college dance team, and she's wanting to email the coach, and she wasn't sure if she should. And immediately about 15 to 20 they go, I'm a college coach. Yes, she can do that. Yes, she can do that. And the high school coach thought it would be bothering them. And, so we just don't know sometimes at high school, as high school coaches, how to direct these kids. I look back to us like 10, 12 years ago and go, oh my gosh, we did not prepare the kids for tryouts very well.
It's just so different though.
It was so different, but yeah. But now we've had some college coaches come in and educate coaches at our camps and different things. And I think coaches just want to be helpful. They don't know what to do. So
yeah, I think it's a great resource for not only the dancers, but parents, so that they have some understanding of the process, because at some point they've got to put some boundaries on.
Right. And that
how
I
to
feel like
approach.
isn't happening right
That's
now.
not
Hopefully
happening.
that'll start to change.
you
I
know,
feel like right now there's a lot of parents that are like, well, I'll do whatever I can to help them get on any dance team they want. And so that's where you get the touring across the country and that kind of thing, where at some point people need to say, we're not going to go to 5 states to look at all these different colleges and go to 7 clinics in each state. Like,
right. To be insane.
But it's
Well-
good for the high school coaches. I think it's good for the college coaches as well, because I don't know that they necessarily appreciate the dancer's perspective in this process and how much it is really weighing on these kids.
right.
So I hope the book starts generating conversation across the board within the dance team industry on how we can make this process equitable. It can be, available to dancers across the country, regardless of your social economic status, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be completely who's got the money gets the more opportunities. And I think having these conversations will allow us to create a process that takes the anxiety and the stress
I would
down
like to see.
a notch. I think clarity and transparency will go a long way with doing that. And it just takes everybody to kind of pitch in on that.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you. We really
Yeah, thank you
enjoyed
so
having you
much.
on today. I think this has been wonderful, and I wish you success with your book. It's exciting
I
to.
think we'll be getting a copy of it.
Oh yeah, The Recruitable Dancer, and it's coming out November 5th. Kathy, thank you.
Yeah,
And
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure talking to you.